Wow. Good evening. Kia ora, sat sri akal, namaste, assalamu alaikum to all the distinguished guests. On behalf of the New Zealand Police Headquarters and my colleagues, Inspector Rakesh Naidu and Jessica Fong, who couldn't be here today, I wish you all a Happy New Year. And also thanks for welcoming me here this evening. Thank you. I also would like to acknowledge Venkatji, who has a very special space in my heart. Good to see you here, Venkatji. And before I start, when I got this invitation to join this beautiful event, I was very excited because as Kavita mentioned in her introduction that I'm a grandma, so my family all lives here while I have now made Wellington to be my new home. So I was very excited. And then next email I received that they would like to have me as a guest speaker for the Women Wellbeing program to be launched. And that's where I started to get a little bit what I'm going to talk on women well-being. Neither I am a psychologist or nutritionist or a physical fitness instructor. You know, what am I going to talk here? If it was a forum where I'm going to give some advice on crime prevention or talking about family harm, perhaps I would have felt a little bit more that, oh yeah, I can talk about it. Women well-being, and so it wasn't a subject which I felt comfortable to talk about. And that's where I started to talk with Malika ji, who I had met a couple of years ago with my very good friend Sucharita, who's also sitting here in the audience. Malika ji left a very warm feeling with me. That was first time I met her. She was very welcoming. We didn't have any conversation as such because there were few other people. But somehow I felt her very warm and welcoming person. But then over the phone, when I started to discuss about what she would like me to talk on this event, that's when she started I get to know her more. What I found about Malika ji is that she's a very passionate woman, very encouraging, very positive, very optimistic. She actually has encouraged me to come here and speak about something which I have never thought that I'll be able to talk about, as I mentioned earlier. And in that conversation, not that I get to know Malika ji more, but I also decided that I'm going to reflect on my journey. Although I know my introduction has been very heavy, Kavita ji, and sorry, I've forgotten the name. Kavita I know very well because we are friends since 2005, so excuse me if I'm forgetting the name of the other MC here. But both of you have really given a very brief introduction, and I'm pretty sure the social media has also done very good justice to take my story to each one of you. So I'm not going to talk about that. But what I'm going to talk about is that we all have, it's a very, the topic is very close to heart because the whole world has been through a very collective crisis where many of us have lived adverse lives, you know. So I am serving to people who often only come to us, those who are going through the adversity of their life stages. And I myself, as you know, that have lived quite an adverse life to be where I am today. So I felt I'll share and reflect my journey in a manner which is more relevant to well-being of women here today. Often, when I'm in the uniform, people, especially women, they come to me and they say, you know, looking at you gives us that energy, you know, we feel like you're very strong, and it really depends on the circumstances, what circumstances I'm meeting that person. But what I want to make a point here, yes, I might come across as to be a very strong person, but I'm quite weak as well at times. I can be very vulnerable where I trust. So the point I'm trying to make here is that being weak is not a negative thing, you know. It's we are human beings. It shows that we are living the life. Only people who are living the life and are human, who are close to their emotions, can feel those feelings where they feel weak as well, and aren't afraid to share their vulnerability to people who they trust. So, but those sharing those weaknesses and coming across, you know, breaking those barriers which you may have does make you a strong person. So this is the reflection of my life, because you know, being married at a young age and then being divorced and being a single mother, it wasn't an easy thing. Another thing which I personally have felt, the integrity within yourself. You know, so many times we always try to please others, where we feel like we are socially accepted, and we feel like living life for others, not for ourselves. Having integrity within yourself, where you do things which you feel that are important to you, not because what other people will think, you know. Otherwise, it gives you anxiety. It can really depress you because you're not living your life. So I have always followed my dream, despite what other may think, what my needs are. Working as a cleaner, working as a taxi driver, you know, if I was trying to fit in social norms, these are not the professions which for taxi driving are for women, or, you know, I wouldn't have felt comfortable talking so publicly. The family I come from, that I have actually worked as a cleaner. I have cleaned the dustbins, I have collected the rubbish, you know, and because these were the struggles when you first come as a migrant into new country. So having integrity within yourself is very important. So that's my personal value. Hope, you know, if you don't have a hope, we are living dead. It's very important. The dream which I had many years ago when I was growing up, that dream I had forgotten. That was closed in a box, and there were other boxes on top of that box. I had forgotten completely that I had a dream of wearing the uniform, till I had the environment where I felt that I can actually fulfill my dream. It's unconditional environment from gender point of view. But there were other needs which I had before. And also being in the job for 17 years, and only now becoming a senior sergeant, you know, it's not that there aren't any ups and downs. You know, the life, work life, personal life, they're all full of challenges. Nothing comes easy. But hope was something which had kept me going. The success of mine is only a tip of the iceberg, but struggles underneath, you know, only people who are very close to me, they know, or I know myself, that what lonely journey it had been when you are first in an organization which is white male dominated. Being a first Indian-born ethnic woman, it wasn't easy to be where I am, but I did have a hope. So all these things have given me, you know, a pride, which is very important for well-being of the woman. So this is why I'm sharing that it's not that nothing, everything was easy for me. We all go through some quite struggles to achieve. Just continue doing what you really, you know, believe in, and have a faith in yourself. Another thing in my story, you know, many people would have known that how hard it was for me to learn the swimming, because not only that I wasn't comfortable wearing the swimming costume, but also learning something completely new at age of 35. It wasn't easy. I managed to get 57 seconds for 50 meters swimming timing, but getting under 54 was a struggle. I couldn't reduce my 3 seconds for long 4 months, and it was really, really difficult. Well, what it gave me, I didn't give up, you know, that 3 seconds to beat and continuing to do that, you know. So exercise actually gives you that sort of drive just to keep going and not giving up. If I didn't have to join the police, I probably wouldn't have learned swimming. The beautiful recreation, which I only realized later on that how wonderful it is. Running was something which is such a great sense of achievement when you finish any exercise. So I will strongly suggest, you know, and that's another part of women well-being where you can add on the exercise part of things. It's not expensive. New Zealand is so beautiful, you know, running in the trails, so it always helps with the well-being of the mind. And that's why I started the Bhangra group, because, you know, when I was young, I know in my culture, and I'm pretty sure it's the same with the most of our Indian cultures, that dances, we sort of discuss the social issues in our dance when we are dancing. And Gidda is one of the forms where often girls will talk about the social issues in a singing manner. It's a good fitness, but at the same time talking about the issues, you know. So that's another way of remaining fit, and it's good for mental well-being. So these are my personal reflection. But at the same time, you know, things which I have achieved, they are very, you know, if you put your soul and heart into it, you can achieve it. But there are certain things which we go through in our lives where this hope doesn't work. And I want to acknowledge that as well, because recently, last year, when my mom passed away, she was a dementia patient, so there was no hope for me that she will get better, or, you know, I actually, seeing her, what she's going through, I wanted her to rest in peace so that her sufferings can end. Last 5 days of her life, I was right beside her, and having that conversation without words, that was life-changing for me. Not only that I had conversation with her without words, but conversation within myself, sitting beside her. It just changed me in many ways. Without having hope, you know, it was something quite touching to me. So I want to acknowledge those people who may be going through certain things where hope sometimes doesn't work, but we learn how to come to terms. By saying that, I just want to say thank you for having me here, listening to me. I am someone who is weak but strong. I am someone who is hopeful. I am someone who have integrity within myself. I'm not ashamed of saying what my heart says to me. Thank you for having me here.